feet to get to. Daniel, like we always do, I'm going to give you the back three and the goalkeeper. Then we'll see what Ishan says. Then I'll have a go. And the live chat, get in on the act as well. Daniel, who's the goalkeeper you're starting with? Are you doing any of the Kepa tweet with the wink, I'm playing and all that kind of stuff, or sticking with Mendy?
Look, I don't think we can argue. Mendy's starting this match. My goodness, what a phenomenal purchase he's been this past year. And big games. He's the man. He's the man. One of the best keepers in Europe, I think. But no debate there.
Would you say top three goalkeepers in Europe at the moment?
It'd be hard to argue. I mean, this past year he hasn't put a foot wrong, and I just can't remember. I genuinely can't remember the last time he made a mistake that led to a goal. I actually cannot remember. Like,
I think that might have been last season Wolves, because the one before that was Leeds. I think it might have been Wolves. Wasn't really even a mistake. You're right. Yeah. Honestly, I don't even remember.
But I guess that's the thing, right? It's so rare that he makes mistakes. And when you compare him to some of the other best keepers in Europe, the frequency at which he makes mistakes is so minimal. Phenomenal goalkeeper. So, he's definitely starting. Look, the back three, now we've got everyone back, it's difficult because obviously Thiago Silva had a phenomenal performance. Well, not a phenomenal. I thought he was very good against Aston Villa.
It was very good against Aston Villa.
So he certainly covered for Saul's mistakes. But that being said, I don't know about you guys. I'm curious to hear what you think. But I just can't. I can't imagine dropping Andreas Christensen. I think he's he's
the future.
Slowly becoming. He's the future. He's the future. I think he's one of the most underrated central defenders in world football. He's had a phenomenal European end to the last season, a brilliant Euros, and he started the season just so perfect, no mistakes, so eloquent on the ball, so just a brilliant defender. I absolutely love him. So in that, that might be the controversial one, but I think, Christensen starts in that center of the back three. And then I think the other two pick themselves. The one thing I will ask, because I've looked around for this and I'm not entirely sure, is Reece James's suspension, has that been
rescinded
to a one match?
Live chat, let us know about that, because that's another thing I haven't seen much in the news. As far as I'm concerned, that's still a straight red. So
it's 3 games? Because I've heard multiple stories saying, it's been rescinded down to a one match. But
do you know what I heard, Daniel, is that even though it was a straight red, but because it was a handball situation, straight red, that's why it's apparently just a match. If it was like a reckless tackle, straight red, that's 3. I don't know. I don't know this. Some people are saying one game so ban only. He is available. Okay. One match. Well, so thank you, live chat. Honestly, you guys are tops. Yes, one game.
Fantastic. Well, that being said, I certainly I think he's probably established himself as the starting right wing back as of right now, at least. So with that being said, I would be Aspi at right centre back, and old mate Rudiger at left centre back. I think it'd be hard to argue against that. If I may say so myself.
We might as well plug this in. I think none of us can argue with RJ being in the right wing back's position now that he's definitely ready to play. I'll go to you, Ishan, but just before I go to you, Ishan, I have to agree with that. Aspi, club captain, has to feature in this pretty big, it is one of the biggest matches, London Derby as well, huge match. Aspi, AC, Rudy, Mendy, I can't complain. Ishan, your thoughts?
I think so. I'll go with this as well. But I feel that, I don't know, Thiago Silva might feature. Maybe. I just feel that he might. We might see Thiago Silva in the middle and Aspi again in the right side centre back. But yes, I totally agree with Dan that Christensen has been very, very important for us in terms of the center halves, and he's really
Sean,
controlled the whole.
do you think maybe Christensen here and then Thiago Silva against Aston Villa in the Carabao?
Yeah, that's again a possibility. That might happen. But then it feels like Thiago Silva got a rest against Zenit, so maybe Thiago Silva and even Christensen. But I don't know. It might be but I do agree with this back four. Make no mistakes about that. But it's just a probability and a possibility that Thiago Silva might start.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm totally agreeing with this back four.
Yeah, it's a very good point, Ishan, that Silva shouldn't be disrespected one bit. He could very well come back. Had a fantastic game against Villa, as Daniel said. But I just feel like the club will start making Christensen the poster boy in defense. Like, he is the man. The contract extensions are being talked and apparently are very close. So I see no reason why Christensen doesn't continue being the main starter. And then Silva, as opposed to last season where Silva was the main starter and Christensen was more of a sort of like coming in. But obviously when Silva was injured, Christensen really built up his stocks. But right now, I think Christensen is the present and the future, and he will get most of the games. And then Silva is more of the backup. And I've got no issues with that. That's a solid backup for Chelsea Football Club. And Silva is, I think he's a very, very happy player at the age of 37 to still be the backup, and he knows he's going to get game time. And Silva's okay with not playing 2 matches a week or 3 matches. He knows his body can't do that, so 1 a week is perfect for him. And Carabao Cup, when you can have a defender like Thiago Silva, that's just imperious for us. We can compete in all fronts. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm happy with this Mendy back three and Reece James. Let us know what your thoughts are, what you'd be doing. We are now going to move towards the left wing back, which is once again the most talked about. Ishan, I'll go to you first up. We finally saw bad boy Chilwell get some minutes in the Champions League. Yeah. We did the watch along and we're like, oh yes, Chilwell has finally come on. But obviously he came right at the end. I didn't really even notice him too much, to be honest. But that's not his fault. He only got some minutes for the sake of getting some minutes. I can't picture him starting. I really can't, because this is Alonso's game. London derby, Spurs, Alonso versus Spurs. Alonso becomes prime Roberto Carlos. He flies down that left wing. His pace comes, in tenfold. He starts dribbling. He starts getting, his movement is unbelievable, like Ronaldinho style movements. He places himself outside of the box, shoots like Rivaldo. Like it's classic Brazilian style kind of football that Alonso starts playing against Spurs. I mean, I can't drop him. What's your thoughts?
No, 100%. It has to be Marcos Alonso, man. Like you said, Marcos Alonso in that, Chicken Ball FC stadium is the giant, the man. He just loves to be there, and also against Spurs, he's going to be lethal. There is always that, intimidation when he's there against Spurs. When he plays that, we have that upper hand. He plays well against Spurs as well. But yeah, talking about Chilwell, I think so. It was good to get his wheels running after the Champions League final. It was the first few minutes that he got in a professional game. So I would definitely start Alonso here. We should not be surprised if we see Chilwell at the later stages of the game. Yeah. Maybe again at the 70th or 80th minute, we might see the likes of
Chilwell for Carabao Cup. For sure, Chilwell.
Yeah, 100%. Man. Chilwell has to start for Carabao Cup. For that, I think so. The build-up has to be there, and just like we saw against Zenit, Chilwell might come up again and replace Alonso at the maybe 70th or 80th minute. But yeah, I think so. Alonso is there. I'm expecting a good game again from Alonso, because he's not put a step wrong since the start of the season. He's been spot on every game, and again, we should expect him to score. We should not be surprised if Alonso comes up and steps up and just scores a beauty.
But I'm actually putting him down for one of the goals. I think it's just natural that he scores in this particular fixture. I mean, Daniel, very hard to argue that he won't start this game. I mean, this is his playground. I think even Alonso, when the Premier League fixture list comes out, he searches for the Spurs game. He's like, that's one game I know I'm going to start, and that's one game I can bank myself goals. I mean, and he's scored some phenomenal goals as well against Spurs. Free kicks, long-range shots, the lot. He's got the lot against Spurs. I mean, Daniel, can you see any other way in this particular? I mean, is it going to be Chilwell as a surprise package, or has to be Alonso?
I certainly cannot imagine a world at which Alonso does not start this game. I mean, like you said, the man turns into prime R9 against Spurs. It is quite phenomenal. His track record.
He essentially plays he. He essentially plays he.
He's brilliant. His finishing's phenomenal. Give him credit.
We're playing a 4-3-3, gentlemen.
Yeah.
It's bizarre how effective he is against Spurs. But yeah, I was surprised midweek that he actually started this fixture. I mean, we spoke on previewing the Villa game, and we were pretty, confident that if Alonso were to start on the Saturday, then Chilwell was going to feature on the Wednesday. But it's clear that he's not quite there yet, and I certainly can't imagine after 8 minutes or so against Zenit that you're going to throw him in away in a London derby. That's a huge fixture, considering we've got Villa in the Cup midweek. That's probably the more appropriate fixture to give Chilwell that much needed game time. So look, no complaints. Alonso starts this match, and I back him to probably get a goal or two.
Oh, two! Wow, I love that. Imagine Alonso getting in for a brace.
Did he not? He got two once against Spurs.
Or maybe a hat trick. Come on, man. Just give it to him.
I think he might have. I think he might have.
It was at Wembley Stadium. I think we won. I could be wrong. I could be getting my fixtures.
I think we might have. But live chat, 170 nearly of you guys. Let us know. I'm pretty sure he did score a brace against Spurs. But let us know, live chat. You guys are.
He did a brace. Yeah, he did. I think so. He did.
I'm pretty sure he did hit a brace.
Remember him kissing the badge? It was brilliant.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, there you go. Flyers. 2 free kicks. I think. 2 free kicks. Wow, was it 2 free kicks?
No, it was 1 free kick and 1 long ranger.
Yeah, 1 free kick, 1 long ranger
from the edge of the box.
Yeah. Brilliant. Okay, the double pivot. This is where it gets very, very tasty. I'll go to you, Daniel, this time.
Yep.
There was talks about Saul in the press conference again. Some of the journalists were talking about, what's the situation, what's the update. And Thomas Tuchel, once again, very, very comfortable, very mature about the response, said, look, it is what it is. We've had worse debuts. Thiago Silva, as we can remember, against West Brom, another calamitous debut there. But obviously, we've seen what Thiago Silva has done since then for this football club. Saul, and Thomas Tuchel has said, Chelsea's played against Saul as well. So we know the quality. He's a good player. There's no doubt about that. It's just going to take a bit of time. Having said that, I don't expect him to start this match. Maybe off the bench, get some minutes if we are ahead. I don't know. Kante, ladies and gentlemen, is fit. He is fit. He's been absolutely announced fit by Thomas Tuchel. But I just don't know whether I throw him into the mix straight away. I can picture him coming off the bench, maybe in the 60th minute, provide that energy. Maybe someone like Kovacic probably takes a bit of rest. Jorginho stays on. Kovacic has been amazing. But for me, Daniel, it will be Jorginho, Kovacic again. They've been great partnership. Kovacic has been phenomenal in the last few games. Villa, fantastic. Zenit, best midfielder out there for us. So my pivot would be Kovacic and Jorginho, and then Kante possibly second half, around 65th, 60th, maybe 70th minute. Get 20 minutes, 25 minutes or so, just to warm up again. And that is how I see the picture. What's your thoughts?
I'd 100% agree. I think it's a huge risk for us to bring back N'Golo Kante back into such a high-intensity fixture like a London derby. We don't want him to potentially, suffer another setback, which, that would be a disastrous situation for us. But, I don't think we'll be starting Saul by any means. He, unfortunately, he was more or less thrown in the deep end, and it really showed in that first half against Villa. Obviously, he's a top central midfielder, but there is that period of adjustment, particularly to the English game, that I certainly think he hasn't, gotten himself used to by any means. So, Kovacic, Jorginho. Kovacic has been unbelievable to start this season. Just he has everything, technically brilliant. His striding runs forward, it's so
progressive passes as well. Progressive passes.
I mean, some of those that beautiful through ball to Romelu Lukaku on the weekend was just a thing of beauty. And he has been fantastic. And I actually think the partnership of Kovacic and Jorginho is really, it just works. You've got Jorginho who plays that role, very disciplined, keeps just the structure when he's in that double pivot. It's just fantastic. Allows Kovacic a bit more freedom to get forward, because whilst he is a very proficient central midfielder, he's got that bit of creativity about him. So I certainly think this midfield too, I have no complaints in any fixture. But if Kante is fit, I still wouldn't. I'd still start these two. I think it's too big of a risk to throw Kante in there.
No, 100%. That's how I feel as well. Ishan, a couple of the people in the live chat are saying they would start Kante. I just feel like he hasn't played for a little while. To then put him into the starting again could get physical, could pick up a knock. I just don't want him to do that. We do need to just slowly manage him in. I know one of your biggest concerns, Ishan, has been Kovacic, Jorginho just playing so many matches so early. Is there a chance of them burning out? And there definitely is a chance of that. But I can't see another combination at the moment. I can't see Saul being thrown into the mix again where he could feel alienated one more time. I do want Saul to slowly get integrated in. Carabao Cup, I probably would expect Saul to start. And then slowly get more minutes until he starts feeling more comfortable. Right now, the way Kovacic is playing, Ishan, he is a pure number 8. Driving runs, interceptions in defense, tackling as well, press resistant, building up from the back, producing assists, scoring against Aston Villa. He's producing the goods, man. And Jorginho just allows that structure so brilliantly at the back. Keeps the ball moving along, recycling the position along. I mean, I can't see any other combination against Spurs. And then maybe Kante comes in second half to get some minutes. I mean, do you see any other way here?
I think so. And hear me out.
Here we go. The other side of the coin.
Yeah. That's a twist. Now, listen. I'm concerned about Jorginho more than anybody else at this point of time. Because 1, he's played a lot. 2, we saw a little bit of nag of injury concern there in the past match against Zenit as well. So for me, the concern is Jorginho. I don't want this guy to be injured by any means. We saw the importance of this guy in Aston Villa straight away. We saw the impact and change of the whole momentum. Instant. And that's the importance of Jorginho. You won't see any sort of goals from this guy. You won't see any sort of, apart from penalties, you won't see any sort of assist from this guy. But the role that he plays in this team is the most important role, I would like to say. Now, Kante is fit, and Thomas Tuchel sounded very confident when he talked about Kante, right? Kante is a world-class player. I don't think so. It would be any sort of concern if we start Kante. He's world-class. He's N'Golo Kante, for God's sake. For me, I think so. It would be better if we just give Jorginho a little bit of rest, start Kante and Kovacic. We've got Aston Villa Carabao Cup game very, very soon. So why not start a Kante and Kovacic here? Bring in a Jorginho maybe in the later half, or maybe a Saul for the sake of argument. Bring in a Saul if we are in a comfortable position in the second half. Bring in a Saul and substitute Kovacic there, and maybe a Jorginho in place of Kante to give Kante some rest. And then in the next match, we have a Kante Jorginho or maybe again a Jorginho Kante. Any of these 3 combinations would do for me. But for now, my priority is not to just let Jorginho get some breathing space and do not injure this player, because if this player gets injured, Kante's already had one injury. We cannot have the risk of burning out Kante again. Saul needs some time to adjust. Definitely not Saul, but then I think so. I would go with Kante and Kovacic and then bring on a Jorginho or a Saul in the second half to rest Kovacic, and maybe then we can go full-fledged in the Carabao Cup game, so that this balances well with all everybody's gaming time and resting time as well.
I do want to throw a different spanner here, Sean.
Yeah.
Thomas Tuchel said in the press conference, we do have an extra day ahead of Spurs in terms of break, and he gave the players a full day rest after the Zenit game. I mean, surely that would have to play some sort of a role that, because we're playing in Sunday and we played in Tuesday night and Wednesday, the players had a full day off. Potentially, by the time Sunday obviously comes around, Kovacic and Jorginho should be a little bit more fresher as opposed to if the game was on the Saturday.
It might, and it's a good point, and that could be the other way around as well for Kante. You know, by 2 days' time, Kante might be actually very much fit, and you know, we might have another training session before the game starts, maybe tomorrow, and then we could have a full-fledged, you know, strong Kante starting in the lineup. Listen, we should not doubt Kante starting, because he's not a new player here. He's one of the best at what he does in world football, and doesn't matter if he's come from injury, Kante will be Kante whenever and wherever he plays. So Kante is inevitable, and for me, I definitely agree with your point that, you know, this is the combination that we're more confident with at this point of time, having known the fact that Kante was injured for a long time now, and these are the combinations that we would like to go and we would be confident with. But just giving a little bit of rest to Jorginho, add a Kante there. Kante and Kovacic has played and has won us many matches in the last season as well. I don't think so. It would be a bad idea to start Kante and Kovacic and maybe bring in Jorginho in the second half. This would, you know, at least give a little bit of rest to Jorginho, and maybe a Kovacic as well, who can, you know, just go in the second half, take some rest, and then come back strong in the Carabao Cup game, because Carabao Cup game is kind of a knockout, right? We cannot be complacent there. So my pick would be Kante and Kovacic. If Kante is 100% fit, definitely. But if Kovacic and Jorginho starts, well and good. You know, this is the best combination that we're going with, and we're very much confident with this. But I just hope and pray that Jorginho stays fit, because this guy is a creme de la creme for us.
Live chat, let us know what your thoughts are. Obviously, I've gone with Jorginho and Kova. Daniel's gone with Jorginho, Kova. Ishan's gone with Kante, Kova. Live chat, let me know what your thoughts are before we lock it in. I've got Kante as a sort of in the background behind Jorginho. My thing is, obviously, we've seen Kante, Kova, they've worked. But right now, the way Kova is playing, more progressive, more dynamic as an 8, I'm just concerned because Kante only knows one way as well, which is progress forward. Who is going to be a bit more disciplined to build up from the back and have that Jorginho sort of mentality? I know it should naturally be Kova, but that means we're sort of compromising his form for the time being, which that he's been more progressive. That doesn't mean that Kante can't take over from that. Kante is very well versed in moving the ball forward and progressing, but why take that away from Kova? That's what my feeling is. But let me know what your thoughts are in the live chat before we completely lock that in. Do want to see what your double pivot combination is, and put a comment as well, why, and then we will sort of lock that down properly. Daniel, let's talk about the front three. I think it's safe to say, since we've already talked about Lukaku, Kane, let's lock this bad boy in.
Yeah.
I mean,
No doubt.
This is a no doubt. This guy.
This should have been the default list.
This should have been default. Yeah, it should come with that. I'm going to get in touch with the programmer when I select Chelsea. It should just come out with Lukaku's name and Mendy and Rudy's name. Just
maybe add up a number
away.
9 as well on that.
Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, before we talk about the other two players, please smash the like button. Let's get the likes. I'm going to have a quick look at this. We've got 88 likes, so we're 12 likes away from 100 likes. We've got nearly 170 of you guys alive. Please smash the like button, get the 100 likes, and then let's chase the 150. I honestly cannot stress enough how much the likes and the subscriptions are in direct correlation of the growth of the channel. So please smash the like button, and if you're here for the first time, subscribe. Very, very close to 7,700 subscribers. So let's do that, ladies and gentlemen. I know we can do it. Let's get the 100 likes, and then let's race for 150. Okay. Daniel, we've locked in Lukaku. There's no doubt about that. Immense form, complete striker. He's scoring goals when the XG is saying he shouldn't be. The XG at the moment for Lukaku's goals is phenomenal. And Lukaku's banging in the goals against Villa. 2 chances, 2 shots on target, goals. Right, 2 goals. Against Zenit, 1 proper chance, which was from the header, goal. There hasn't been any other big opportunity. Well, I think against Zenit, right at the end, there was that 1v1 where he could have probably cut in, either fed it to some of his teammates, or he could have just cut in with his right and then hooked it with his left. There was an opportunity right at the end when we counted. Ishan, I'm pretty sure you remember that, where we were Lukaku had that opportunity. But besides that, Lukaku's been on point. The other 2, Daniel, this is where it gets very tricky. I can already see the live chat saying drop Mount. A few people are saying Mount, Lukaku, Cho, Kalamatanadoy. Look, I'm going to be honest, Daniel, and the live chat, I want to see what you guys have to say about this. I know it's just a one-off game, but Ziyech and Mount weren't that great against Zenit. But that doesn't mean that they can't be great again. They very well can be. But for Ziyech's point of view, I feel like a poor game against Villa, a very average game against Villa, and a very, very poor game against Zenit. We needed him to break open that Zenit defense because he is the creative spark. That's how I look at it. And his passing ranges were awful. He got dispossessed. So I'm not sure how he can put his hand up and say, Gaffer, I need to keep starting. The Gaffer gave you an opportunity after the Villa game. And this is coming from me who loves Ziyech, right? Mount was not great either. Don't get me wrong. No. He was not great either. When it comes to passing, he missed a lot of passes. But what I like about Mount is off the ball, the work rate is something that is so invaluable. He wins the ball back, barely gets dispossessed. He's pressing, counter-pressing. As soon as we move the ball forward and we sort of, keep the opposition boxed up, and as soon as we lose the ball, Mount and Kovacic and Jorginho, they're there quickly to win the ball back straight away. So the counter-pressing is on point. So for me, one of the players will be Mount.
Mm-hmm.
And probably the other one, I would love to see Timo Werner. I really want to see Timo Werner and Lukaku get an opportunity. But I think it's going to be Kai Havertz because Lukaku, Havertz, Mount so far has shown me the best sort of chemistry out of all the other combinations we've tried. I know it's early days, but that Arsenal game, I know it was a weak Arsenal as well, but Lukaku, Havertz, and Mount look really great. So for me, it would be Havertz and Mount. But who's it going to be for you?
I would, again, 100% agree with you. I think when we've had a full-strength squad of sort, it's been clear that to start the season at least, Havertz and Mount have occupied those 2 attacking midfield roles. I completely understand where you're coming from. You want to see Timo Werner play. He really hasn't been given many opportunities this season, but I think it's difficult.
I really want to see that combination, Daniel, like Lukaku, Timo.
The Lukaku, Timo Werner, almost front two of sort. We do want to see that.
But it would be something like that.
Yeah. But I just can't see... I can't see Thomas Tuchel in a high-stakes fixture at this point opting for an unproven, front 3. I think he will stick with Kai Havertz and Mason Mount for his tactical fluency within this system. So look, I would go for that front 3. I guess another aspect to take into consideration though is, Kai Havertz and Mason Mount aren't really players that you back in the 1v1 situations. And I think against Zenit St. Petersburg and even Aston Villa at times, we really lacked a Christian Pulisic, maybe even a Callum Hudson-Odoi type player who is able to run at defenders and beat them in a 1v1. So, I think that's something that we may have to consider in the coming weeks if we're not creating enough chances, we're not causing enough problems. But I look at that performance. I think the one that stands out for me, that first half before the red card away at Liverpool, Mason Mount, Kai Havertz, Romelu Lukaku, they were giving Liverpool nightmares. Now, a completely different tactical profile in Tottenham Hotspur, probably more suited to an attack or a player that runs at defenders, causes all sorts of problems. But yeah, I'm confident that we will get over the line with the likes of Mason Mount, Kai Havertz, and then Big Rom up top.
I mean, I like the Mount Lukaku Havertz combination a lot as well. But Ishan, can this be given an opportunity? I really want to see this. Werner, Lukaku, and maybe Mount just behind them. Mount, look, I like him there, but from that position, I feel like you do need to be a lot more creative. Not that he's not; it's just he's not creative often enough. That's the issue for me. I feel like there are times where he misses out on the passing, but then again, you've got Kova who can be creative, so it doesn't necessarily needs to be always Mount. So I'm happy for it to be Mount. I would really prefer Ziyech, but I think just doesn't warrant a start at the moment. But is this an opportunity? And I can see some of the live chat, Ishan, talking about Calamus and Odoi perhaps getting an opportunity maybe on the left side if the formation was like this. Perhaps Cho. I mean, does any of these permutations get a shot, or you're going with Lukaku, Havertz, Mount?
No, listen. You have to think before having a say, and I don't think so. Cho makes sense because, come on, I don't think so. He's gonna start, to be very, very honest, because listen, Havertz did not start the last game, so from my probability, Havertz straight away jumps into the playing 11. No doubts about that. Now Lukaku definitely starts. The question is Mount. I don't think so. Mount is droppable at this point of time, not because he had a bad game, because his work rate at the off the ball work rate is immense, and I don't think so anybody up in the top three, in the front three, can match the off the ball work rate that Mount puts. Now, talking about Timo Werner, like you said, even I would love to see the combination of Lukaku and Werner someday, but this is not the day. Why? Because we should expect Tottenham Hotspurs to play a low block, park the bus, park the submarine, park the spaceship, whatever they can, because they know that we are coming at them, and we are coming at them big time. We're relentlessly going at them, and they definitely go. I expect them to have a low block, right? Now, for these sort of games, I don't think so Timo Werner would be an option. He might because maybe at the later stages of the game, when there are the center halves who wear out a little bit, and Timo Werner might come out and be the space creator that he is for Lukaku, and then that might work. But I think so Timo Werner is most effective against high lines, and if we would have played against Liverpool or a Man City, we predicted Werner to start against Liverpool, but he didn't, right? We shouldn't be surprised if he starts tomorrow. But the thing is, Havertz definitely starts. Would you start a Werner ahead of Mount? I don't think so. You'd get that off-the-ball work rate from Werner comparatively to what you'd get from Mount.
I don't really like when it's... I don't know if that combination will do well. Lukaku, Havertz, Werner. That's just... There's no proper workhorse that can come in midfield and do a shift there as well.
Yeah, because tactically, Jorginho definitely comes back as a regista. So does Kovacic, just to have an assistance for Jorginho. Now, it's very important. You need
one of the inside forwards to come in like that.
Exactly. You need at least one of the inside forwards to be that workhorse and just to jump up and down to have that work rate of the ball to create that pressure there. So you need Mount for that. I'm not saying that Mount is important every game, but he needs rest, and we played games without Mount, right? But the thing here is, Havertz got a rest. If you play a Werner there, would Havertz be the guy who drop back as Mount does, or put off the off the ball work rate as Mount does? I don't think so. And at this game, where we expect Tottenham Hotspurs to play that counter-attack game, they won't have much of the ball. Maybe we would, and they would rely on the counter-attack prowess. In that case, Mount is very, very important for us. In terms of that, when they have a counter transition, Mount can be very, very important with his work rate. So yeah, for me, again, I have to say Mount, Havertz, and Lukaku. But we shouldn't be surprised if Werner starts. It might be Mount, Werner, and Lukaku. But I cannot consider that because Havertz did not start against Zenit, and I'm expecting Havertz to start now. So that's why maybe Werner might get a start in the Carabao Cup. Maybe Werner plays the full 90 in the Carabao Cup. You should not be surprised about that.
Yeah, no, 100% agreed. I mean, as much as we want to see Timo Werner maybe get that opportunity with Lukaku just to see how that might turn out, it's very difficult. I think Havertz, as Ishan said, and as Daniel said as well, not starting against Zenit, I think it's very much in line that he will probably start against Spurs. His chemistry with Lukaku and Mount, that's the three that I'll be very surprised if it's any different. Honestly, I'll be very, very surprised. I know a lot of the live chat are saying, oh, how's Mount? Yeah, he didn't play that well. But there are a few people that are also saying in the live chat, and we agree with that, Mount's work rate off the ball is something that no other inside forwards gives us that. So that is something that shouldn't be disregarded. Havertz, Lukaku, very good, solid. At least you know with Lukaku you're going to bang in the goals. But with someone like Havertz, you also know that he's quite capable of scoring those goals as well. He did that header against Liverpool. We were looking very good against Liverpool. So I've got no issues with this. Some people are saying, why not Callum Hudson-Odoi as a right wing back? Look, let's be honest. If Reece James is fit, Reece James, I think we can now honestly say he's a far better right wing back than Callum. There was a point where I was thinking maybe Callum with his decisiveness and his 1v1 attributes, but Callum just doesn't give us the defensive side of the game that Reece gives us. And let's be honest as well, Reece in recent times with his crossing and his connection with Lukaku has been very, very good so far against Arsenal and obviously against Zenit. Yeah, not the greatest game for Reece James, but at least defensively he does give us that cover as opposed to Callum. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is the team that we've locked in. Mendy as goalkeeper, Christensen, Rudiger, Azpilicueta as the back three defenders. Jorginho and Kova we've gone with, but Ishan's put in a nice little explanation for Kante. So we've kept Kante in the background just in case. We won't be surprised if that happens, Kante, Kova. Alonso, Reece James. Alonso, we know, he loves this fixture. So there is no two ways about this. Reece James is the number one right wing back. Up front, Lukaku and the two inside forwards, Havertz and Mount, but Mount more sort of dropping into midfield and creating that three in the midfield and then moving forward to give us that extra bit of body up front. Havertz could similarly do that. So yeah, this is the lineup. Hope you guys think that this is the lineup that could do the job, but if otherwise, do let us know in the comments.